Hey guys, good morning. Here's Dora from the Netherlands. How are you doing? Today I came with a running shoe battle video, which I was really looking forward to record for you. And the main reason for that is this shoe is one of my favorites ever, and I really loved running in those two pair of shoes. So I could not wait to compare it for you and share my experiences. Now the first shoe, as mentioned earlier, and I had a video a few weeks ago, that's the version 3 of the Novablast, which is a 2022 shoe even, and the Novablast 4 came out the end of 2023, so we can even say that it's still last year's shoe, but yeah, I'm expecting if there will be a Novablast 5, that will be end of this year or even the beginning of next year. So yeah, this is the latest edition, of course. Now, as mentioned, I did have the version 1, the version 2 I skipped, but the version 1 was also one of my favorites ever, so I was really looking forward to run on those two pairs. Let's go in the usual categories, and here the first category is of course the upper. Now you can even see from the look of the shoe that has changed. The older version has a jacquard mesh upper, and I have to say that it was already quite cool in the range. It's definitely less plush than the previous editions were. It is more breathable, but still comfortable. However, I had to say that it was not my favorite ever. I also felt a bit of pressure point on my toenails, which is not very frequent for me because I have quite narrow feet. But still it was there, so it was not causing me big issues, but I was also not running a half marathon in this shoe. So I can imagine that taking your usual size on the long runs, it can be a rubbing issue. So I would say that though it was quite a good upper, it was never my favorite. Also with the tongue, they went for a glossy tongue, but it was really short because of the color. You cannot see so much, but it's just coming out of basically the Asics system. So it's really on the shorter edge, and it's also not really plush. It's like a very thin material. I did not have any rubbing issues, but I can also imagine that for some people it is an issue. So I was quite happy, to be honest, when I saw the version 4 with some updates. You can see as well that the tongue became a bit longer because of the other color. You can see that it's a little bit longer. It's also not super long, but a bit longer. And it's also again going to a more plush direction, though it's not like super cushioned. It doesn't have to be super cushioned. We are talking about a running shoe tongue, but it had that little bit of extra, better feel, better just feeling also on your feet. At least this is my experience. It is not a sponsored video for any means, so it's really my own money and my own experiences. Now you can see as well the upper became another material. This is an engineered woven upper, which I have to say the preference is for me definitely this upper. I was running in this shoe also in Spain for a vacation, but it was breathable. I was running in 25 degrees there, really no issues. Of course, it's still a daily trainer, so don't expect to be super breathable as, for example, a Nike Vaporfly, but it was really doing a good job there. Now, on the collar side is more or less the same, so I don't want to go into details there. Aesthetics, I like also both of the shoes. I have to say this has a bit of more kick for me as well than the version 3. So if you have to compare the two shoes, definitely my choice is the Novablast version 4. Second category, and this is the midsole and the cushioning. Here you can see the biggest change. The drop of the shoe is the same 8mm, but on paper the Novablast version 4 has 10mm more stack height, 41 in the heel and 31 in the forefoot. Now, if you even compare, you don't see that 10mm change. So I think how they do measure the two shoes is also different. So I would not pay too much money on the comparison on that part. The material has changed. This is an eco version of the FF Blast Plus foam. I did have some challenges with the FF Blast Plus here. I mentioned also in the review, I really had to get used to it. I had some difficulty. It was a bit too hard in the beginning. After a few runs, I got more used to it and I felt that it's getting softened. So I liked the shoe after a few runs. But here I have to say, even after the first run, I definitely prefer this Echo version. Officially, Asics says that it's not a different foam, just it's more sustainable, but the ride should not be different. Personally, for me, this was a more plush, a more cushioned foam. I definitely prefer this one. So for me, in the battle, in the cushioning and in the midsole foam, the winner is the Echo and the version 4. Now both shoes do have more or less 50 kilometers in them, so let's see how it's go with the time. Not sure, of course, how durable this Echo foam will be. I use both pair of shoes for daily training. Really, I'm doing the base mileage still here in March. In February, I did a similar. So I went usually between 5 and 10 kilometers. So this is the range I'm talking about. I do not do really long runs yet, up-tempo runs. Here I have done some interval trainings and some little bit of fartlek trainings. And I felt as well, the version 4 was picking up the pace much easier than the version 3. So it's already the second category where for me the Novablast 4 is the winner. Third category, that's the outsole. I have not talked about the weight yet. The version 4 for my size, which is UK 7 40.5, is coming with 10 grams more than the version 3, which means 238 grams here. 10 grams is of course 10 grams, but on my level, of course, that doesn't make the big difference. Getting the shoe out of box, I would have even said that this is lighter, but that's not the case. Also on feet, I felt this lighter. It is just a better geometry for me, it's a better feel for me, so that's why I don't feel that difference on the weight, but on paper this is heavier. Now, what I see as well, of course, the stack height can be higher here, and I would say the stack height is somewhat higher, though not 10 millimeters and more. You can see as well the outsole is a little bit more on the version 4. I have to say as well, in my view, it is also a bit thicker, this rubber outsole, which I really prefer because in the Netherlands, of course, I'm running quite frequently on wet surface. I was running on wet surface with both pair of shoes. I had no issues. Usually for me, the Asics outsoles are trustable, and I have to say this is the case also for both pairs of shoes. Here on the version 3 though, you can also see a little bit already some slight rubbing on the outsole. Though I was running with this shoe more on cobblestones, so I would have said if I see more damage on the version 4, I'm not really surprised, but I have to say I see more damage on the version 3. So let's say on the outsole for me it can be 50-50. That is not a big difference in my view. Fourth and last category is the price and value. Now here there is definitely a big difference, and the difference is coming more or less in my view that this shoe is of course a year older, so it's in the outlets, still also an Asics with a lot of outlet options, and this is retailing as low sometimes as 75 euros, though the retail price normally is 150 euros. And the same goes for the newer version. It is also retailing for 150 euros nowadays, but you don't see it really on sales yet. The lowest what I have seen, but there was just a few sizes, that was 110 euros. 120, 130 you can find, but lower than that you cannot find yet. I mean, 75 euro for the version 3 is definitely a huge difference. So if you have to spare some pennies, go for the version 3 because it's really a great pair of daily trainer. That difference for me, it's worth for the pennies. So yeah, on that price value perspective, for me the version 3 is definitely the winner. Still, Final result. The winner of this battle is the version 4. Definitely, in general, I prefer the runs in the version 4. Good braceability, good daily trainer, good for up-tempo runs as well. I liked also the design, the colorways options. If you are picky, but it's of course a pair of run-on shoes, this upper, I would say it's really holding the dirt. So if you are running a lot on dirty surfaces, sand, whatever, just go for a darker colorway because you will see it really getting dirty soon. This was the running shoe battle for today. If you have any experiences with these two pair of shoes, please let me know in the comment box below. I would really like to read your reviews, your opinion. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you next video. Take care. Bye.